Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the launch of the CP Lawn Service YouTube channel. My name is Christian, and to get things started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are and what we're trying to do with this YouTube channel. So this past May, I graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in finance. I had a great 4 years at school, but the most important thing I learned there was that I did not want to pursue a career in finance. I worked in several finance positions throughout school, and just hated that every time I went into work, a little part of me died when I had to sit in front of that little screen and pitter patter away at the keyboard for a few hours a day. So I knew that I had to make some sort of a change. Just a couple weeks after graduation, I got married, and in August, my wife and I moved to Champaign, Illinois, home of the University of Illinois, Go Illini, which is where we eventually started CP Lawn Service. So when we moved to Champaign, neither of us had jobs, so I did what a lot of desperate people have done in that situation, and I hopped on Craigslist, sent out a few emails, made a few phone calls, and I was fortunate enough to be able to start working for just a local family-owned lawn care company the next day. It was just an older guy and his wife, and then me basically just taking care of a few lawns. He said he'd be willing to pay me pretty decently, so I took it and was very grateful for it. So I got to know this guy pretty well, and eventually started having some health concerns a few months into me working for him. So basically I was doing a majority of the work, and he presented the idea to me of us buying out about 75% of his business, so that his wife could just work part-time, and we would take over the rest. So we were obviously thrilled by that opportunity. Told him we'd be interested in moving forward, so we got on our side, started putting together a proposal of how much we'd be willing to pay for what he was going to give us, which ended up being about 25 lawns, about the same number of driveways for snow removal, and then basically just a list of names of people they had done work for in the past, whether it was fall cleanups, small landscaping jobs, just a variety of different things. And there weren't any contracts for any of these things. So we presented their proposal to him, and he gave us a number back, and his number ended up being about 20 times more than what we thought was a fair price, and we, long story short, just couldn't find anywhere in the middle where either of us would be willing to meet. So it became evident that wasn't going to work out, and he had told us that he was planning on dropping that 75% of his business whether or not we were going to take over. And one day while I was working for him, I told him that I was scheduling some of our own jobs, since he had been planning on getting rid of that business in the near future, since it wasn't going to work out with us. And he ended up just kind of blowing a gasket and accused us of going up on his back and trying to steal his business and a lot of different things. So that was the last day I worked for him, and that's where CP Lawn Service sprouted from. So shortly after that, we got all our LLC stuff figured out, so we were an official company, got insurance, all those good things. My brother, who's actually a co-owner of the company, already had zero turn. I went and bought some Stihl trimmers, a blower, basically things to do some fall cleanups before the winter hit, and we just put out an ad on Google. I made a website, which is cplawnservice.com, if you want to go check it out. Yeah, that's kind of how we've been generating business so far. So this winter's just sucked. I know a lot of you can identify. So we haven't removed snow a single time, which has made this a pretty lean winter, but we're excited for the spring to start. We've been getting some contracts ready for that, and we're ready to go, ready for the warm weather to get here. So yeah, that is in brief CP Lawn Service. That's where we came from, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So stick around for just a couple more seconds. We've got another segment we're going to add to the end of these videos if you want to check it out. Alright, so this last segment is going to be called Ask the Pros, where you are the professionals, because clearly we are the amateurs. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to ask 3 questions, and then if you guys could post your answers in the comment section. Each week we're going to pick the best answer. You can answer 1 question, 2, you can answer all 3, but we're going to pick the best answers and we're going to send out a $5 Amazon gift card to whoever wins. That's probably going to increase in the future, but like I said, the winter's been a little tough. So without further ado, the first question is, how do you build up a Facebook following? For those of you who are active on social media, that's something. We've got our Instagram going a little bit, but Facebook I'm a little bit clueless, so if you guys could get some insight in that area, I would appreciate it. Next, we're looking to buy a smaller standard riding mower. I'm looking at probably a 36-inch deck, so we get into some smaller yards. So if you guys have recommendation on brand, or really anything in that department, we'd appreciate it. And the third question is residential or commercial. Which do you prefer, and what are some pros and cons of both? We've got a little bit of both this year, so we'll find out a lot on our own. But if we get some insight from you guys, we would appreciate it. So that concludes the video. If you watched it and you liked it, if you could subscribe below, we would appreciate it. Don't forget to enter some responses in the comments. Hopefully get yourself an Amazon gift card coming your way. Thanks, guys.